Let's get it, y'all. It's Megabass. Time to go catch a mega bag or just one mega bass at the Megabass tournament this weekend. That's right. Little Whiskey Myers. We always like to start the show with a little bit of freedom music. You know what I'm saying? That's our local East Texas boys, Whiskey Myers, who've made it big. Oh yeah, big time bass fishing guy. The guy singing to you right there, Mr. Cody Cannon, loves to fish. It's Megabass. We're going to come at you with a live preview, tell you what's going on in Lake Fork, what to expect this weekend. And of course, you know, on Thursday night, we're going to give you the top baits for this weekend heading into it to help you guys as much as we can. Cheers, y'all. Let's get it. There it is. I just love this song. I know y'all heard me say it a week ago. It's my favorite song. 2 weeks ago when it was. It's my favorite song. I just love this song. I'd rather be fishing. See? Singing about fishing. It's my boy. Let it play for a second. If I see my home again. Yeah. Tell y'all a cool story to start this off. We are going to do Megabass preview. We are going to do top baits, of course. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Tell you guys a cool little story about this song. I've actually had the pleasure of fishing with the man singing it, Cody Cannon. And what he told me was, you know, every band comes out with an American, especially every country band, and they're kind of rock, country, whatever. They all come up with these patriotic songs, right? Everybody has a patriotic song. And they're all kind of, oh, you love America, oh, you sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. He said he wanted to write a song from the perspective of the American troop, American soldier, and he was talked to a Navy SEAL about some of those aspects before writing that song. He nailed it. Go listen to the lyrics of Frogman. I know many of you guys in here are fellow veterans. If you've ever been there, done that, so to speak, you will feel the words of that song. It is a beautifully written, violent masterpiece, in my opinion. If you know, you know. And if you get it, you get it. It's just the most bad, you-know-what song I've ever heard, man. I love it. Listen, I hear some of you guys in the comments already. I'm already seeing y'all clowning my glasses, my Ketchums. These are the Ketchums from 6 Sense Fishing. I don't care what they look like. I care what they look like when I'm looking at bedfish. And one more thing before we get into the Megabass preview and top baits for the week. I have earlier in the week we had high winds. I went to a smaller lake and it had grass and it had clear water even after the storm. I mean, parts of it were muddied up after the storm, but parts of it were clear. And we were able to bedfish some. Guys, these jokers right here block out more sunlight into your eyes than any pair of glasses I've ever worn. So y'all can make fun of them all you want. I'll be a goofy looking dude. And apparently the young folks think these are cool, but I'll be the old dude wearing the young folk glasses if it helps me see bedfish better. All day, every day. The Ketchums from Waterland, you can find these at 6centsfishing.com or waterlandco.com. Both places you can use the code Your Lake Fork Guide for a 10% discount at 6 Sense Fishing or a 15% discount at waterlandco.com. There's the first plug of the night. Probably won't be the last one. That is part of the show after all. Man, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You in here already. I know the numbers continue to climb as we go into this live stream. Big weekend at Lake Fork. Skeeter Bass Champs, probably the most successful and best run tournament organization in the state of Texas, maybe in the country when it comes to team amateur events. You can make an argument they're the best in the country, and I don't think anybody would really disagree with you. Phenomenal organization. They put on the Megabass every year. It is huge, huge cash on the lot. On the line this weekend at Lake Fork. So big deal. No, a lot of you guys are going to fish it. Tons of people fish it every year. Guys, be careful. Number one, first thing on the Megabass preview is going to be this. Please be careful. Navigation is sketchy at best right now. With the lake being 6 foot low. I'll tell you guys right now, everybody's got a way they're fishing at Lake Fork Marina. If you're running into Lake Fork Marina, please run the lane that goes straight across. From Lake Fork Marina straight to the green line. Do not run from the corner of the bridge apron into Lake Fork Marina on that angle. I just idled it today. There are stumps that far below the surface. You can see them when you idle by them, but you can't see them when you're running. You can smoke one. They're in that lane, right next to that lane, and some of them are actually in the lane. So there are lanes. There are lanes. There are stumps right below the surface in the lane that goes from the 515 West Bridge apron, the corner where the boat lane joins the bridge, to Lake Fork Marina. Please run the lane going in Lake Fork Marina that is from the green lawn going straight in. That is a much safer lane. I can't guarantee you that one's 100% safe, honestly, at this water level. But don't run the one going to the corner of the bridge. That's sketchy. I mean, there's some bad stuff out there waiting to grab somebody. As many boats are coming in there, not everybody's going to see this. Some of y'all are going to run that, and you're going to be taking a chance. Big time. Big time, big time. So be cognizant of that. I'm sorry that our boat lane ship was not available for Megabass. I really wish it was because I know it could help some of y'all. The problem with the boat lane ships, every one of them, whether it's Lance Vick's ship or Stephen Fowler's ship or even the new one that's come out, never mind. You got something I wish I could tell you. I mean, we're just going to let it go. We're just going to let it go for once. I'm not very good at letting things go. We're going to let this one go. All three of those, okay, have lanes marked that right now at this moment are not clear to run. They all three have lanes marked on the upper end of the lake that'll put you on dry land right now. So obviously they're not all clear to run. And some of the lanes that are marked cutting across areas that are normally safe to run, and they're good lanes, just at this water level, man, they're tight, and some of them ain't even tight. Some of them got stumps at this point starting to pop up in them. So be very careful where you're running if you don't know what you're doing at Lake Fork this weekend. That's the first bit of advice. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the live streams. And also, please do comment. Drop me a comment. Let me know who I'm talking to. Tag your buddies in the comment if you're watching on Facebook. And share this thing. Please, please share it. That helps me more than anything you guys can do. I really appreciate you guys watching. I need all the help I can get. So please share these jokers. I will sure appreciate it. If you're not following on Facebook or subscribed on YouTube, I greatly appreciate it if you do one of those too. Hey, it won't cost you nothing. And it will help you boys. So thank you very much. All right, let's get into the Megabass preview. We've been cold this week. Even though it's been cold, the fish that committed to beds stayed there. I will tell you that. They stayed on beds, okay? Well, some of them did. A percentage of them did. Not all. There's not a ton of fish on beds right now. Very, very few, actually. But what we got set up this week is we've got cooler. And y'all see Lake Fork, although it dirtied up in some areas, it did not dirty up in a lot of areas. Like a lot of areas, it stayed really clean. Even in the backs of some creeks, it stayed really clean through that storm on Monday night. The bad storm had all those tornadoes. Prayers be with everybody that got hurt in that tornado. I know there was a lot of tornadoes in Texas Monday night. But the lake stayed cleaner than I expected it to, for sure. Cleaner than I expected it to. So even though the majority of fish aren't spawning and pulled off beds, I think you're going to have some new fish climb onto a bed this weekend as the tournament goes on. This is going to be a situation where even though it's a one-day event, a lot of you guys are going to go pre-fish on Saturday. Some of you might pre-fish tomorrow. Things are going to change. What you find tomorrow on Lake Fork is probably not going to be what you find Sunday on Lake Fork. So you're going to have to be aware of these things going this weekend that we're going to try to help you with them right now. So right now, the main bite to catch fish on and to try to catch big fish, you want to go try to win this tournament, is the staging bite today. And what I mean by staging bite is primarily shallow points, main lake, mouths of creeks, halfway into creeks, like sort of main lake-ish type stuff. If you're in a major creek, you can get a little bit far back in it, but staging stuff way out in front of spawning areas where fish are pulling up on shallow points to feed. That deal happens every year on Lake Fork. It's become very, very well known on Lake Fork. A lot of people know about that bite now. It's really been exposed over the last few years. But that bite has just developed and started getting good. Now, some of those fish are going to leave that and probably start going into spawning pockets, and some of them are maybe even going to start spawning as this tournament is happening on Sunday, and maybe some even on Saturday, because we got good warm weather coming over the weekend. So it's going to be an evolving deal. Don't get discouraged if you fish several of those shallow points and you don't get bit, because all it takes is one shallow point, and this deal just takes one bite. And that shallow point deal is a very, very, very good way to catch an absolute giant bass. So that's the bite you're going to experience if you go out tomorrow, if you go out Saturday pre-fishing, you're probably going to experience a good amount of that bite. And there's still going to be some fish doing that on Sunday too. And Lord knows it's a great way to catch a giant. So let's talk about how to fish that deal first. Probably the easiest, most simple way to fish it, and arguably the most effective way to fish it, is going to be with a Carolina rig. Calvin Perry, remind me of that later. I want to go over that because that's amazing, dude. A Carolina rig, and the bait that I like on a Carolina rig, I ran out of my preferred color today, so this isn't the color I'm throwing. I'm throwing watermelon red or dark melon red. I've been throwing watermelon reds, would have been throwing. Watermelon red is my favorite color on Lake Fork, pre-spawn, spawn. They just red, they like that little red flake in it. But the hog waller from 6 cents, just a little creature bait, kind of a hybrid creature bait, cross between an old school lizard and a brush hog or any other type of creature bait. As you can see, good bait right there. Throw that on a Carolina rig. I'm throwing it on a 1 ounce Carolina rig on the main lake, and I am looking for the wind. I want to fish in all the wind. If the waves are crashing over the back of my boat with the power poles down, I'm doing something right on this pattern. Carolina rig, that little creature bait right there, that's the easiest way to get bit on those staging points, those shallow points. Now, another bite that is going down right now is going to be a glide bait. A glide bait and a line through swim bait are two ways. You need to throw a line through swim bait and a glide bait. I'm going to tell you why. They move very slow going forward, but they still are moving. The glide bait's doing this, twitch it out to the side. Hey, the line through, the tail's wagging, but it's not moving forward very fast at all. These fish are still cold. The water on the main lake is cold, especially like this morning, it was cold. These fish are not just fired up and chasing things down yet, so you need something that's going to move a little slow. The glide bait that I'm throwing right now is the draw from 6 cents, and I'm throwing it in this white color. It's got that little chartreuse belly. But right now, when I'm fishing this bait in a ton of wind, it is stirring some of that dirty bottom up. Now, Lake Fork has maintained its clarity very well through the storms, but when you're fishing a wind-rocked point, there's no vegetation in Lake Fork to speak of whatsoever. So everything is sand and dirt and clay and silt. So when the wind is rocking those points, it is churning that stuff and creating mud lines and little dirty areas on these shallow points. That's why I'm throwing the white glide bait. That's my color of choice right now on the glide baits. There are a lot of good glide baits out there. This is the draw from 6 cents. I'm throwing this one. By the way, the 6 cents baits that I'm going to name tonight, you can find those at Lake Fork Marina and Lake Fork Resort. Both have 6 cents baits. Most of the stuff I'm talking about in plentiful quantity. If you're not coming to Lake Fork right now, you just want to order these baits, go to 6centsfishing.com. Use that same code, your Lake Fork Guide, to get your 10% discount. All right, line through swim bait. My line through of choice, and I'm throwing white on this as well. I just grabbed this one because I had a box sitting right here beside me. My color of choice on this one is white right now as well. I'm throwing pearl white on this line through swim bait. This is the Felon from Smash Tech Custom Baits. You can also find these at Lake Fork Marina as well. I'm throwing it in white. I would look for a solid color because, like I said, that dirt churning on those points. Line through swim bait, very effective way to get a big bite. Guys, don't go out there expecting to catch all the fish on these big swim baits. You're just looking for one. Just looking for one. And last but not least, and maybe my personally favorite way to fish these shallow points because you can fish them so fast, oversized square bill. It doesn't look oversized now, but if I had a regular square bill sitting right here, I'd show you how big it is. This is a 3.8 mini mag from 6 Cents Fishing. So equivalent to a 4.0 in a Strike King or something like that, but 3.8 mini mag from 6 Cents Fishing, Cloud 9 series. Wild shad is a color. Again, see the white color, throwing that whitish shad color. This is the bait you want to grind these shallow, hard points with, guys. This bait deflects off that hard stuff. It doesn't get hung up in the crevices and the cracks and the grooves of the clay and the rock and everything else that we got on Lake Fork. It comes good off the little root systems on the stumps if you have stumps on a point. Just a very good deflecting bait. That's my favorite crankbait to crank on those shallow staging points. Very, very effective way. And you can fish them fast. And that's part of that shallow point game, right? Get up there, cover that point efficiently, cover it quickly, move on to the next one. Because if you don't get bit, you're probably not going to get bit. You know, you can go two ways on it. You can kind of wait on the fish to come to you, or you can run them till you run into them. I'm a high-speed guy. I kind of like to run them till I run into them, honestly. Megabass, you may not be able to do that. You may have to sit there and pick one point and wait on them to come to you because maybe a lot of spots taken in Megabass. It's going to be kind of hard to run and gun with that many boats on the lake at times. That's how we're fishing the staging points right now. Okay, the other fish that we have some fish that have already pulled back and started spawning. We've had some since 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. those fish are still in there. A lot of those fish are still in there, and some new ones are pulled in there this week as well, or last week as well. They pulled in there and started spawning. Some of those fish are even still on a bed, believe it or not. Now, some of these areas that are warm enough to have a bed in them, it's kind of hard to see them. Water's a little dirtier, so you don't really visually see them, but they're spawning, and I have seen some. We have sight fished some fish on Lake Fork 2 or 3 weeks ago on the new moon, and also this week as well. So keep that in mind. There are bedfish available if that's your deal and you like doing it. Yeah, they're just really hard to find visually right now. They're hard to see, which is usually the case early in the year. But just because you can't see them, if you are going to go sight fishing and you find one on the bed, everybody knows stroker craw is my deal on the bed, has been. It's caught every bedfish for me over the last couple of years. Watermelon red or dark melon red, that red flake is the deal on a bedding fish. It just has been for a long time for me. It works really, really well. Be sure you get stroker craw with some red flake in it. But if you're going around just dabbing around fishing in those shallow spawning areas, which you can do and get some good bites. There's two baits that you need to throw. They're very similar. First one's going to be the clout stick bait. I'm throwing this weightless Texas rig. I'm throwing it on a 3/0 stout wide gap hook from 6 cents as well. Weightless Texas rig. Pitching this, casting it next to any covers. Laydowns seem to be especially better than the standing timber. There's so much standing timber. The laydown offers something a little bit different. It's a little easier to isolate and target those. Maybe that's why I'm catching more, because I throw it every one of them, and I don't throw it every stump because that's impossible. But I seem to be catching fish more consistently off laydown cover than I do off the standing timber, if that helps. Clout stick bait, I'm throwing it in the Nirvana color, which is half green pumpkin, half black and blue. If the water is clear in an area, I'll go straight green pumpkin, like this bag here is a straight green pumpkin. The other bait, top secret guide stuff here, guys. Methylate. The methylate worm can get you bit. Now, I'm wacky rigging this with a half a nail weight in the head and a wacky rig hook in the middle. Y'all know how we do our wacky rig if you watch the channel. Wacky rigging a Zoom trick worm in methylate color. Those two baits right there, if you get back in the pocket, you're confident there's fish in the area, settle down, slow down, pitch around. With those two baits, you'll catch fish. If you're wanting to cover water shallow, spinner baits. Chartreuse and white, some kind of blade that vibrates pretty hard, and just cover water with spinner bait. You can get some bites doing that in shallow water as well. So there's your top baits. Two different styles of fish, two different fish doing two different things. I think more fish are going to come to the spawning pocket deal that we just talked about second. I think right now there's more fish on the staging deal that we talked about first. But like I said, I think some of those fish are going to leave and come to that spawning pocket deal. But you're definitely going to have both happening at this event. And that's all. We'll see you next time. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, we're going to answer questions and comments and do all that good stuff. Hey, Thursday night, Top Bass Live. Cheers, y'all. Get the brown in your cup. Hold it up. Drink it down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, what did I see Calvin Perry Goforth say a second ago? He caught 2 double digits. Where is Big C? Big C caught 2 double digits today in 15 minutes. Took him 60 years to get a double digit and getting 2 in one day. How about that, dude? Big shout out to Calvin. Congratulations. I know he fishes a ton, takes a lot of guide trips with different guides. Man, he tries hard at it, so he's earned it. He's paid his dues, man. That's awesome, dude. 2 double digits of fish. You got to tell me more of the story, Calvin. Like, give me more of the story. I got to know. How do you fish the clout when weightless Texas rigged? I throw it out there, let it sink good, let it sink for a while, be patient with it, fish it real slow, and then I'll just kind of lift up on it, nothing's there, I just twitch. Just make it go, and it falls back down. And I usually am fishing targets with it, so I pitch it out past the target a little bit, twitch it up to the target, let it fall, twitch it past the target, let it fall. Do that 2 or 3 times, then reel it in and go to the next target. Now, if I was fishing a big broad flat, a grass flat or something, I would twitch it all the way across the flat. But right now, everything on 4 is kind of isolated targets, so that's basically how we're fishing it. How's Rayburn fishing? I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody that's been down there lately, and I certainly have not. I apologize for not knowing anything about Rayburn. How often do we update the fish live spots? Once a month, right at the first of the month, every month. So, we updated those the first week of March, and we will update them again the first week of April. And we have primarily all spawning areas on there. Right now, shallow water areas, there are some shallow points on there. There wasn't much of that happening earlier in the month. When we updated, there wasn't much of the shallow point deal happening, so we don't have tons of those on there, but there are some of the shallow points on there. What you can do is go fish the ones that are on there and then duplicate that across the lake at other points. Cody, I want to know if he caught it with you. That's what I want to know. Was he? Because I know he fished with you this week sometime. Wendy says she was at Rayburn recently. How's it fishing, Wendy? Let us know. Andrew McNabb says, please tell everyone Ivy is empty. Well, if y'all quit catching teenagers out there, they might think it was empty. Headed to Athens tomorrow. Any water hazards that I should be aware of when running? Man, Athens is probably, maybe the easiest lake to run in East Texas. It's pretty well wide open. When you get back in pockets and creek arms, little pockets, you need to watch out if you don't know what you're doing. But Main Lake, especially, you can run Athens. Just don't get close to any of the points and you'll be fine. Just kind of common sense navigation stuff on Athens. It's the middle of the lake's open. Rayburn had another Sherlock today. I did see that Rayburn kicked out a 14-pounder today. I saw that. What is going on in Texas, y'all? I hope y'all watched that video earlier in the week where I talked to Jake Norman about what exactly is going on in Texas. It's holy cow. I can't call Big C. A, I don't have his phone number. B, I'm using both of my phones to live stream both on YouTube and Facebook. I don't have a phone to call on. When do I throw hollow bodies with the single beast hook versus line through baits? When the water gets warmer. A hollow body has a little faster action. I do like it. Once the water gets mid-60s and up, I like the hollow body. What is the secret to getting in and out of Little Mustang? What do you mean, to getting it, like navigating it? You can run to the bridge if you know where to run, which is marked on like the Lance Vic lanes. Will be marked on my boat lanes when they come out. But after that, you just idle. That's it. What's my prediction for Megabass winter? Going with 11 plus. Yeah, it's hard to predict at 11. I think it'll be 11 plus. I think that's about right. I do think it'll take, obviously it's going to take a double digit. It pretty much always does. With what's going on with the lakes right now, it could be anything. Last year it took a 15. That is not out of the realm of possibility with the stage the lake is in. There's still a lot of fish yet to spawn. Still a lot of fish weighing a whole bunch right now. Lord knows they live in Lake Fork. They're coming around. They're tired of waiting. It's late. Everything's late this year. It's tired. The fish are tired of waiting. The ones that'll spawn a little bit later are staging up, feeding, and the ones that are ready are back in pockets trying to do their thing, getting aggressive. So, Lake Fork is definitely coming around, turning the corner, and fishing pretty darn good, really. It's not just lights out. Not everybody's going to go out there and catch them. Most people are going to struggle. But the guys that get on a pattern are going to have a phenomenal day and catch a lot of big fish. My man Blake Doty says he's going fishing on a grassy, shallow, gin clear 20-acre pond this weekend. Any tips? If I had clear water and grass, I would either be sight fishing or throwing a swim bait, throwing a weedless swim bait. Are the black and blue hybrid jigs still working in creek channels? No, that bite, I haven't pursued that bite in a while. I'm off that bite completely. Will this tournament be trailering? Yes, it's always trailering at this tournament, at the Megabass, always. Random question. If you had a dream lake outside of Texas, where would you fish? Man, I've got a few on my bucket list. I want to fish Gunnersville just for the history. Chickamauga intrigues me. It seems like a lake that I would like. But my number one bucket list fishery would probably be the California Delta. I think that it's so different. Even though it's the same, it's shallow grass, and I like that. The tidal influence and the way it lays out is so different than anything I've fished. I think I would really enjoy that. The California Delta. You keep hearing that the stumps are bad coming from the main lake before the Little Mustang ramp. What ramp is in Little Mustang? In Little Mustang Resort is the only ramp, and there's no stumps in the boat lane there. Now, going into Williams, when you do take the split at Little Mustang and Williams, you take a left there. There's stumps in that boat lane, in that buoyed boat lane. There's stumps in there you can hit. That's what I mean, guys. I mean, it's dangerous out there right now, man. Even in a marked boat lane in Williams Creek at the mouth where you split and take off from Little Mustang to go into Williams, right there where you can see the trees close to the boat lane, there's some that are hittable. Damn, I mean, just daggum near in the boat lane. Other side of the bridge? Yeah, the other side of the bridge, there's stumps everywhere. Yeah, be careful coming in and out of that ramp over there at Joe Spate's old place. Rest in peace, Louis Vaughn, over there by the Real Time Rod Shop, what used to be Joe Spate's shop. Yeah, that ramp over there, there's stumps over there on this. Yeah, when you get to the bridge, you got to idle from the bridge back in Little Mustang, no doubt about it. No, idle only. We got a New York in the house, Troyce Corrales. What's up, Boris Martin? Yeah, David Burton saying don't go right under the bridge in Little Mustang unless you're really idling. Gary Payne's in the house. What's up, big dog? Yep, cheers. Good call. Good call, TLA. Get the Brian cup. Hold it up. Cheers, y'all. Man, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and wrap it up. This is another one of those long days. I've had nothing but long days here lately. That's this time of year. I get the spring fishing season and try to do everything else I do. And then on top of that, my kids' soccer season is in full swing. And it's a lot. Came right off the soccer field to this live stream just like I did on Tuesday. It's how it is every Tuesday and Thursday. Go straight off the soccer practice field, straight into the live stream. So it's a long day by the time I'm done with this. So, man, I'm going to bail just a little bit early tonight. So I appreciate you guys joining me as always, man. Thank y'all so much. Best of luck to everybody fishing Megabass this weekend. We do have a seminar tomorrow night, Friday night, Lake Fork Marina. Please come join us at the seminar. We would love to see you. Thank you guys, man. Everything y'all do. It's a tiring lifestyle, especially this time of year, but it's pretty darn amazing what I get to go do every day. And life is pretty darn good, you know. Got my kids doing their ball thing with them. Been fishing with them a little bit when I could over spring break. It's just been a good run. Been a good run for you, boy. So thank y'all very much, man. Appreciate it. One more cheers. And we'll see you guys next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.